Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website, teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv. My email is teamdan45, teamdan45@gmail.com. If you want to comment on this show, that's where you go. So, we are going to look in the past, but let me tell you about this new movie, and I read the book maybe 10, 15 years ago. My wife and I are trying to figure out who recommended this book to us. It's called The Art of Racing in the Rain. And I'm going to show you the trailer to the movie. And the movie came out. I recommend everybody that's watching this to go see that movie. It's a great movie. But when we were road racing, we're going back in the turn of the last century, 2002, my partner racing with me was Steve Karson, and he was the master of racing in the rain. So in the next 15, 20 minutes, we're going to show you some footage from Ginger Man in Michigan. We're going to show you some footage from Texas World, and then we're going to conclude with footage from Road Atlanta, 2002, where Team Chicago was battling for the championship. So let's go check this out. And like I said, Steve Karson, this is dedicated to my good friend Steve Karson, who was a master of racing in the rain. And don't forget my email. If you want to contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com.
I believe it was 10 or 12 years ago, someone recommended reading this book, The Art of Racing in the Rain. Both my wife Joyce and I read the book. It was by Garth Stein. The book is basically about this dog and its owner who races cars, and they talk about racing in the rain and the challenges in life and racing in the rain. This book and the movie by 20th Century Fox inspired me to put this clip together to tell you a little bit more about Team Chicago and our championships. Racing in the Rain was a great book, and they made a wonderful movie. Now we're heading back to 1996. We are at Gingerman Raceway in Michigan. This is the WERA National Challenge Series. This is the 1100 Super Stock race. Points accumulated here will qualify Suzuki riders for the Suzuki Cup Finals. My good friend Steve Karson, who I met back in 1988, he is racing out there on the 4 and 6 prepared Suzuki. It is raining hard, and I have the camera underneath the canopy.
Jumping up front to Kevin Renzel, Reverend Kevin. Steve Karson is out there on that 4 and 6 prepared 750 Suzuki. In fact, he's pretty far up. Starting from the last row, and it is raining. Second place is 267. It's Jamie Hacking from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Steve Karson is really moving out there. Still leading is Reverend Kevin, number 19, sliding out of turn 3. Number 19 is Joshua Hayes, also on a factory Suzuki Endurance, and Steve Karson's right on him on that 4 and 6 prepared 750 Suzuki. Still up front, Kevin Renzel, Jamie Hacking. Third place looks like Grant Lopez. Here comes Steve Karson running in 6th place. Well, I'll tell you, it's Steve Karson. What amazing, but he does like racing in the rains. Reverend Kevin Renzel is still leading. He comes down this front straightaway, now moving into 2nd place. Wow, look at that pack for 2nd. You got Timothy Bizendorfer, Jamie Hacking, Grant Lopez all going for 2nd place. We swing over. Steve Karson is charging through the pack. He's getting used to these Dunlop Brain tires. In fact, Steve has just moved himself into 5th place. He just got around Joshua Hayes on that Valvoline Suzuki factory bike. Now leading looks like Timothy Bierendorf. Steve Karson's running in 5th place. He's charging through the pack, don't have any lap times, but in the rain, driving rain, I'll tell you, I am totally impressed. Steve Karson is really flying out there. But leading, going on to pick up the win, is Timothy Bierendorfer. 2nd place, Jamie Hacking. 3rd place, Grant Lopez. And Steve Karson has moved himself into 4th place.
It was Tim Beamistorfer going on to pick up the win. Steve ran a great race. And I should point out that Josh Hayes went on to become a 4-time AMA Superbike champ. And now we're in Texas World, and this is 2002. I should point out that Steve and I won the championship in middleweight superstock in 1999. Phil Caldwell and his team won the championship in 2000, and Phil Caldwell and his team competed with us in 2001. In 2002, Phil Caldwell joined Team Chicago. And now we're in the second to last race of the 2002 season. Team Life with Kevin Warner and Joe Malinese are leading in the points. They've had Lady Luck on their side ever since the first race of the season in Louisiana. They are leading in points in the middleweight superstock class. They have 21 points over Team Chicago as we come to Texas World. I told Steve Karson and Phil Caldwell that we did not deserve to win the title in 2002 if we could not win this race.
Let's get into the 4th hour of racing. It's Steve Karson is on the Team Chicago 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha dealers, Race Tire Service Dunlop. Coming off the front straightaway, it's Steve Karson chasing down Team Life. Joe Malinese is on Team Life as Steve Karson comes through turn 1 and 2 on the gas. He is on the charge. You got to make up some distance. We have moved into 2nd place in class. We're running in 8th place overall. Team Life is right in front of us. We're on the same lap. Steve goes chase down Joe on the Team Life Yamaha. Sagrada Familia, named after the cathedral in Barcelona, Spain. They are having one of their best races of the year. They're running in 15th as they head into the pits. Vezra Suzuki has now taken over the lead. Semoff brother has dropped off the pace. Trey Beatty is on the charge. Team Extreme has now moved into 3rd place with Billy Eckridge. Towards the end of 4.5 hours of racing, Joe Malinese and yet Team Life, Yamaha, they are leading in middleweight superstock in 7th place, and yet G4Cycles.com, MotorHeaven.com, P&M Motors, but Steve Karson and the Team Chicago 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha dealers is on the charge. He's going to catch Joe Malinese as we get ready to hand the bike over to me, and it's going to be my turn to take the Team Chicago bike out. 4.5 hours down, 1.5 hours left at Texas World at this GMD CompuTrack. We're a national endurance. As Steve Karson comes into the pits, our crew is ready. Everybody's got their assignment. Gary has grabbed the bike. Eddie's taking care of wiping up the fuel. I'm adding a few ounces of oil with our oil quick fill. Phil Caldwell is taking care of the gas. Eddie's ready to soak up any gas that spills. And I'm ready to go.
a great pit stop, and we are out front in front of Team Life as I enter the racetrack, and my job is to stay on the same lap as Kevin Warner. Now, Kevin Warner is a much faster rider than I. I cannot allow him to lap us. I have to stay on the same lap or beat Kevin during my 45-minute stint out here at Texas World. We are running the long track at Texas World. We ran this track last year, and I feel very comfortable, and I feel very fast.
Turn the bike over to Phil. Team Life made a pit stop right before us. Then we made the pit stop. They've got a 20-second advantage. Phil's mission is to chase down Joe Malinese and get by him if we're going to be victorious in Texas. J&J Motorsports, J&J, they've won the championship. 14K to Movie is running 10th in middleweight, 10th overall. They're third in class in middleweight superbike. But Vezra Suzuki, Trey Beatty, is leading the way, catching up and trying to do well. Samoff Brother, with their crash and the time loss, Samoff Brother is still in 5th place as Phil Caldwell comes by in the Team Chicago 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha. Phil is flying out there. He's making tracks, turning 51s, 52s. Bent Racing, the local team, is running in 4th place. And yet Ice Motorsports and Joe Malinese and Team Life comes by. Phil Caldwell has caught Team Life. And Team Chicago is now in the lead in middleweight super stock. As we get to the end with the flag, it is Vezra Suzuki picking up the win. Phil Caldwell comes by. Team Chicago, we have finally won a race, a 6-hour, a grueling 6-hour in Texas. It is 95 degrees, but in the points, Vezra Suzuki's up front. Army of Darkness has moved to 2nd, Team Extreme 3rd, Vezra 2 is 4th, Psychotherapy is 5th. 6th place is Team Life, as we see Joe Malinese on Team Life come by. 14K to Movie is in 7th. Team Chicago, we've moved to 8th. J&J is 9th. Velocity Crew is 10th. Heavyweight Superbike, Vezra Suzuki is leading. In fact, they may have enough points to claim the championship. Heavyweight Superstock, J&J Motorsport has got that wrapped up. Lightweight Superbike, it's Infotech. Team Charm is in 2nd. Middleweight Superbike, Army of Darkness may have enough points over 14K to Movie. Special as Trey Beatty pulls a donut, and in middleweight Superstock, Team Life has got 9.9 points over Team Chicago. It will all come down to the final at Road Atlanta with the WIRA National Endurance Series.
Road Atlanta, the final race of the 2002 season. It was raining in the morning. We decided to go with Dunlop rain tires. We could change tires quick enough if it did dry up. We're going to watch the start of the race using Phil Young's Team Bear helmet cam.
Wait for the starter. The start of the final GMD CompuTrack National Endurance at Road Atlanta. Phil had to start from the back row. He only ran one race. He only had points from Putnam Park. Let's see the riders go through turn 1 and head up to turn 2. Like Trey Beatty, and he had Vezra Suzuki up front, number 1. 1,000 Suzuki, 2nd place, Vezra 2, and they're also on a 1,000 Team Extreme. Williams Racing, Steve Karson moving into 4th place on the Team Chicago. 4 and
4-6 prepared Yamaha. Army of Darkness is moving up. Heading to turn 6. Phil makes it over the crest, passing some traffic. It is raining. Phil made a mistake. He went with Dunlop DOT street tires. He should have changed the rain tires. Up front, Vezra Suzuki, second place. Vezra Suzuki 2, both on 1,000, sponsored by Vezra Brakes, Suzuki, Wantana, Nielsen Enterprise, Pirelli, Fujiko. Looks like Team Extreme is having a problem making move as William Racing. Bike down as they approach the bridge. Phil heads down to the front straightaway. Rider jumped the start. 770 as Phil comes by, but with full rain tires and up front with Vezra Suzuki. Third place, Team Extreme, Williams Racing. Fourth place, Steve Karson and Team Chicago. 4-6 prepared Yamaha. Yamaha dealers is running a solid fifth. Army of Darkness is running in sixth. So up front, Vezra Suzuki, Trey Beatty. Vezra Suzuki 2 is running second. Steve Karson running fifth. Infotech is running right up front. Loudon Motorsport, number 4, trying to get by. 85 is batting with 118. 85 Team Life, and they made a mistake in their tire choice. They tried an intermediate tire. The bike here is cleaned off the track. The race continues. The Team Life used the Pirelli intermediate tire to start the race. Looks like Kevin Warner is not very happy with that decision. The idea was if it stopped raining and a dry line developed, there would be an advantage of having that intermediate. As we see Steve Karson and the Yamaha 4-6 Racing, Yamaha dealers, participating Yamaha dealers, Race Tire Service Dunlop. Steve Karson is running in 5th place, but he is a rain master. We look for rain and it has been our advantage. But up front, it's Vezra, Team Extreme, Loudon Motorsport, Vezra 2, AnAn.com, Velocity Crew, Team Extreme, Northern Getaway, and Team Chicago is running 9th as we conclude the first hour racing at Road Atlanta. To get into the second hour racing, I'm right behind 29 Dreams. They're sponsored by 29 Dreams Motorcycle Resort, Bridgestone. J&J Motorsport. They're running a solid race. They've got the championship wrapped up in the heavyweight superstock class. Running at Nielsen Enterprise. Suzuki, Army of Darkness, is now battling the Team Out of Sight. The Team Out of Sight is that one team that got ahead of me. Team Out of Sight is now leading. They're in 8th place and leading middleweight superstock. Uh-oh. 23 is down. 23 is St. Louis Racing on that Michelin. Vezra 1000 Yamaha. It's like they've had a problem as I get around Joe Malinese. The Dunlop Brain tires are working great. The bike's looking good and I'm running good. We're in 9th place. Team Velocity 120. We thought they'd be a threat, but they're running into problems. As we get at the 2 hours and 30-minute point, up front, 57. With the rain suits, I can't tell you who's on the bikes. It's like Jacoby
John Jacoby's on the number 1 bike as Phil Caldwell comes by on the Team Chicago 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha dealers. But on the charge, Team Extreme on the Pennzoil, Motorsport Graphic, EBC, Tabaki, Vesra, Pitbull, Tsunami. They have moved up to 2nd place. They are on the charge. 29 Dreams, running a good solid race towards the end of 3 hours of racing at Road Atlanta. Phil Caldwell comes by in the 4 and 6 prepared Yamaha. We're in 11th place, 2nd in class. Ridge Racing and Loudon Motorsports have moved into the top 10. As you see, Team Extreme, they're running in 2nd place, number 2. 85 Team Life, our competitors, come by. This is not a good race. Jason's on the bike. They have dropped back. Towards the end of 3 hours of racing, Vesra Suzuki is up front. Team Extreme is running 2nd. Vesra 2 is running 3rd. Velocity Crew is 4th. Northern Getaway 5th. Team Extreme 2 is running 6th. Ridge Racing is 7th. Army of Darkness is 8th. Loudon Motorsports is 9th. Team Out of Sight is in 10th place. Team Chicago, we're 11th. Infotech is running 12th. Neighbor of the Beast is running 13th. Steve's going to take the bike and do battle at Road Atlanta. Phil Young, Team Bear, and at 4 and 6 Kawasaki's been running the whole race. Justin comes by on Team Life. Team Life has slipped back to 24th, but on the charge, 71. That's Williams Racing with Russell Williams. He is flying. He's Team Extreme making their final pit stop. That's Team Extreme Pennzoil, Motorsport Graphic, EBC. Steve Karson chasing down. Team Out of Sight. Steve Karson moves to the lead. The middleweight superstock. We are now leading the race as we get towards the end of 4 hours of racing at Road Atlanta. Red flag comes out. 10 minutes left in the race. A bike went down, is laying in the track. The red flag flies, and that will end this 4-hour GMB CompuTrack WERA National Endurance at Road Atlanta. The final race of the year, the GNF. Justin brings the Team Life Yamaha in. Vesra Suzuki, number 1, is the winner. Trey Beatty riding. Phil Young brings Team Bear in, and Steve Karson brings the Team Chicago 4 and 6 Yamaha into the pits. He's wondering, did we win it? Yes, we did. We went on to pick up the win in the points. Team Chicago, we finished 768 points. The Team Life, 744 points. We turned a 9.9 deficit into a 22-point game. We have won the championships in the race. It was Vesra 1, Vesra 2, Team Extreme, Velocity Crew, Team Extreme 2, Loudon Motorsports, Army of Darkness, Northern Getaway, Team Chicago, Neighbor of the Beast.
It was a great win in the 2nd championship with the WERA National Endurance Series for Team Chicago. We won the middleweight super stock title. You have to remember there's 5 different classes, but we won the middleweight super stock class. For more information on WERA, America's road race leader, it's WERA.com. WERA.com, as we see Army of Darkness celebrating with a burnout. To contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. And remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing.